Good afternoon. I sincerely thank my peers at the patient advocacy track to offer this outstanding opportunity to speak and present on Armenia's cancer advocacy for this outstanding audience. Thank you. And to make the task a little bit easy for you with pronouncing my name, there is a short version, RIPA, so I think it's easy to remember. So we can go ahead. These are my declaration of no conflict of interest. And as Stefan, when introducing me, told you that I started a charitable foundation, and the name of the foundation is ＨЕΝԱՐԱՆ. So it happened in February 2017, about 1 year later after my active treatment. And my experience as a volunteer when working with other breast cancer survivors taught me that I'm limited in my capacity and authority to do something more. So I felt that need to have an institutional capacity, and that was the main trigger why we established the foundation. And it was established as a partnership between myself as a breast cancer patient and survivor and my surgical oncologist. So at the very beginning, the core is a bridge between patient and oncologist. And whatever we do, the mission of the foundation is based on that bridging and building synergies between the patient community and the oncologist community. And it is managed in total by 6 people. 4 of them are cancer survivors. 1 of them is a management consultant who's helping the foundation with management experience, and the other one is the oncologist who's the president of our board of trustees. And the word ＨЕΝԱΡԱՆ translates into English as foundation, something solid, something trustable that all stakeholders, starting with patients and oncologists and others, can rely on and can lean on. And we have so many different stakeholders, but the primary beneficiaries are cancer patients and their families and caregivers. And our foundation has a good membership across different international networks, so you can see the organizations, but one I would highlight, first of all, of course, ESMO, and the second is Inspire to Live, and I will get back to Inspire to Live organizations' very high impact intervention into our experience. So, you would ask, where is Armenia located? It's located in a place on the map where on the Eurasian continent, east meets the west. We are located between the 2 seas, Black Sea and Caspian Sea, but we are a landlocked country with no access to sea. And this is our national flag. Please recognize it next time when you see it. And please note who our neighboring countries are, because not every country around us is very friendly. About some economic details about Armenia, which is very important, how cancer care is organized in Armenia. So we are not very big. It's about 3 million population. The capital city is called Yerevan, and about 1 million reside in the capital, and the administrative units or provinces are called MARS. So we have in total 11 MARSes, 10 provinces and the capital. We are classified as upper middle income country according to World Bank classification. The minimum wage as of 2023, you can see, is quite low, and it is very important to note. 180 euros or dollars, about a third of the population in Armenia receives this size of salary. The poverty rate is quite high. It is 26.5%. So the most important thing is, as of today, we don't have any universal health coverage in Armenia. The state is providing very, very little, not only for cancer care, but altogether for health care. And 80% of all health expenses are paid personally by patients, by citizens, out of their pockets. We don't have a very good sustainable insurance market. There is no life insurance. Pediatric cancer is a little bit in a better situation because there is a charitable foundation that does fundraising and provides financial assistance for treating pediatric cancer, but the number of child cancers is not very high. It is about 100 cases per year, even though it is quite expensive to treat, but you can imagine the difference doing crowdfunding for treatment for 100 children, and it is mostly blood-related cancers, and doing crowdfunding for more than 8,000 adult cancers. The state is planning a healthcare reform to introduce a comprehensive health coverage, which is planned to start in 2024, and it will gradually evolve throughout the country, and it should end. It is planned to end in 2028, but I've heard the official news that it is going to be delayed for unknown time, so we don't know when in reality it will happen. What happens when an adult is diagnosed with cancer in Armenia? So you can read the list what we don't have available in Armenia, and I know that at the first glance it will seem to you like a horror movie. So we do live in the setting of that horror movie. When I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2015, I was lucky, extremely lucky, to have private insurance coverage, which was the exclusive package existing in the country, but still it covered only surgery and 1 month of tamoxifen. And when I was tentatively prescribed with chemotherapy, the insurance expert told me that we can cover only one course of it, and the others will have to be paid personally. And I was lucky to skip chemotherapy because my breast cancer was detected at a very early stage. So only surgeries and radiation therapy are being covered in Armenia effective in 2019, and chemotherapy is not covered, and you can imagine how expensive it can be. Immunotherapy is not practiced in Armenia because those drugs are not accessible, available, neither physically nor financially. They are very expensive, and only 1 out of 500 patients can afford buying with their own money those immunotherapy drugs. No rehabilitation services for cancer patients or survivors, no psychosocial standardized support, no sustainable palliative care across the country. Everything is centralized in the capital, Yerevan. Fake drugs are widely circulating, and the state does not have the institutional capacity to have control over it. The language barrier keeps physicians from applying ESMO or NCCN guidelines in English. So if they don't know English, they can't apply the most updated modern science to their patients. So our very first basic steps were support to breast cancer patients. When I was operated on, just like the woman on the left side photo, I was carrying my post-operative brain pocket in my hand, and I was thinking like this looks like very ugly and not aesthetic. And I was thinking, I was sure that the civilized world should have already come up with a solution. I went online, I found on Amazon those pockets, so I ordered, personally I bought them, it arrived to Armenia. I tried one of my friends to remodel it, so now we have our own stock of locally produced, and please pay attention to the difference in pricing. So these are provided to women who undergo any breast cancer related surgery. The next step, what we initiated doing, is patient education and empowerment is so important in our practice, and we developed a whole list of patient education guidebooks. They are in Armenian, and my special pride is radiation therapy, because not every country has something available in their national language, and we do in Armenia. So now I will talk about breast cancer screening program in Armenia, which was initiated in 2019 with a 1 million grant amount. There was a tender, a competition announced, and ＨЕΝԱՐԱՆ beat. And we were recognized as the winner of that competition, and we signed the very first contract, state-funded contract, to develop guidelines for primary healthcare physicians how to implement the breast cancer screening. The initial plan of the state was that they are going to screen one woman just once only, and they are not going to recall for mammogram with tomosynthesis for suspicious cases, and they were not going to spend money for core biopsy or surgery biopsy, and they were going to engage only one radiologist to do single reading, and rescreening of the same woman 2 or 3 years later was questionable. And within the terms of the contract, when we developed the guidelines, the state agency was not cooperative, and they did not agree to accept as duly developed guidelines, saying that you will need to change. Because what we were offering is that women need to be recalled, and they should go 3D mammogram with tomosynthesis, and they do not pay for it. If they need, they should undergo core biopsy and surgery biopsy, and they should not be paying it, while the state was planning that they will screen only, and all the associated and affiliated expenses will have to be covered by women. So I confronted with the state agency, and I clearly told them that I will use every opportunity, every platform to say that this is a very unethical approach. You're not going to do that. I will not let you do that. So, and then in that scenario, we would have come to the situation that you see the bridge to nowhere. It's better not doing a screening program like that at all. So I convinced them. They found the additional money to cover all the expenses, and the screening program started in 2021, and it's been on for 2.5 years. So you see the detection rates and the recall rates, and when we do the comparison with the European countries studies, that European countries started their breast screening programs in early 2000s, so with a low average and high percentage, you see the detection rate of Armenian breast screening program fits within the minimum and maximum rates. We are not doing bad. We are just like keeping the track. Thank you very much. And so now about the National Cancer Registry. Remember, I said, remember the Inspired to Live network. So this is the moment to give them a very big thank you for the support that they showed. We started working on this in October 2022, when Armenia was attacked by Azerbaijan, and we were going through this 44-day war. So my network of peer advocates stationed in Amsterdam, Peter Captain, asked, how can we help cancer patients in Armenia? And I told him, if you can, please find some good experts who could help us build our National Cancer Registry, which would be electronic, not paper-based. So we started. You see on the left-hand side that Peter, Inspired to Live, engaged experts from IKNL, which is the Netherlands Comprehensive Cancer Organization. And on the right-hand side, again, patient advocacy organization. And behind us was the National Center of Oncology and the Armenia's national e-health platform called ARMED. So we engaged all the stakeholders, and we worked together virtually. We were meeting once every 2-3 weeks through Teams, and we were discussing the technicalities, how to build the front end and back end with all the algorithms, how we're going to embed the TNM classification, ICD-10, ICD-0. So I will give you the milestones, how we progressed. And as of now, About 30,000 cancer cases were already entered into the system. So these are current patients or recurring patients or those patients who come back for their regular checkups. And what we lack now, we are very good with data entering, but what we lack is developing specific tools for analyzing the data that is already entered and will be continuously entered. And at this point, I thank you very much for your attention to staying till the end of this session. And again, thanks to ESMO for the opportunity to present Armenia's case here, because Armenia is a limited resources country, totally different from all the experiences and stories that you are hearing here. And I think it should be interesting and beneficial for you to know how the world can be totally different from country to country in your setting where you have everything available and accessible. And honestly, I will share the point of view of the cancer patients from Armenia that we are envying you for the problems that you are voicing here, because I think we have another 10, 15, 20 years to come after you, to reach the day that you are in today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ripa. It is on? Yes, it's on. Thank you, Ripa. I think very inspiring.